Hello again, and welcome to Crime and Music. I'm your host, Brian J. Kinsley, and with me, as always, my friend, Ben Rupel.
You had that 7-Up opening situation timed perfectly, I think.
I practiced a lot.
Wait for it. Wait.
Practiced so much on this, you'll never know. Every other Wednesday, I'll open a quote-unquote 7-Up, not a sponsor, to start off a new true crime podcast about people in and around the music business and their misadventures into law-breaking. If you like that sort of thing, check us out, share with a friend, admit to the world that Wyoming doesn't exist, and join us on the dark side. CrimeandMusic.com for everything else Crime and Music. Go there, check us out, get old episodes, see what's coming up, and maybe leave a speak pipe. That's our voice message system. You can actually talk directly to us, and we can hear what you want to say.
I know. I thought that would be more popular, but I guess people don't want to do that.
Leave voice
more
messages?
people do? Yeah, I think it's fun.
We'll get there.
Do we got one?
I might have got a message yesterday.
Oh, okay. All right,
So,
I'm excited.
It's good and it's exciting. Much like the topic of today's show, it's exciting. It's a little different today, so we're gonna try and do the best we can with this one.
I think I might have a premonition what this one is. I don't want to mislead our audience. Usually Brian doesn't really tell me who our guest is, but I think today he kind of did. Or through a series of events, I know what it is.
I feel like since
what it is.
You picked this, I think you might know what it is.
Yeah, I think I do.
Oh, all right. Let's start it off. Every time we do
So
this.
we can still do guess the guest.
Oh, we're gonna do guess the guest, and there's
I'm
quizzes
play along.
and short.
There's a freebie.
Nicknames and everything.
A freebie for me. All right, I'll take it.
You're fine. All
I'm
right.
not above pity.
All right, guess the guest, everybody. Here we go. Okay. This one is not a person or a band.
It's not even a guest.
It's not even a guest.
All
It's an event.
An event, yes.
An event. That's my first hint for you. It's an event.
It's an event.
You're gonna
All
play
right.
this out, aren't you?
No, I'm gonna say words.
Okay.
So it was a while ago. I heard about this event, and I approached Brian on it, and I said, "Hey, we've always done a guest. We've always had a person as our focus. There's no reason we can't do something else." I know these are good
These
too.
are so good.
Not to get off a tangent, but so in Michigan, where we have a lot of great breweries,
Number
we
one.
can say all these words, right?
We can, as long as we
Yeah.
say they are not sponsors.
Not sponsors.
This is
So
not a paid
Founders,
advertisement.
yeah,
Founders Brewery.
one of the best breweries in the country.
Located where?
Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids,
Yeah, their
Michigan.
main is in Grand Rapids.
Founders.
Yeah, and they got a lot of nice IPAs, a few stouts that are second to none in the world.
You got like a minute.
Yeah. Oh, guess the guess.
Oh, this is all part of it. So,
Okay.
So anyway.
Anyway, and so they just came out with this seasonal brew. It's called Green Zebra,
Awesome.
and they're like drinking. It reminds me of like Mountain Dew and
Oh.
wine coolers all mixed together.
It's so good.
And I'm a man, so I can drink.
All right.
I don't
Luckily,
have
you know this.
All right,
There
guess
was
the
a
guess.
lot of drinking at the event we're going to go over today.
Yeah,
Lots of drinking of beer.
I read about this thing. A lot of crime was involved. Interesting crime.
A lot of weird
Crazy
crime.
stuff.
It gets pretty odd, guys.
And it was a concert.
yes.
It was like a after Woodstock wannabe sort of thing.
the Woodstock of the West. We'll get there.
Yes, that should give it away for anybody who knows this.
All right. I'm just going to tell everybody. We're talking today about the Altamont Free Concert.
Yeah, Altamont Free Concert.
Not the Ultimate Free Concert, the Altamont Free Concert.
Name of the city, correct?
Speedway.
Speedway.
Yes.
Oh, is it at a speedway?
Yep.
All right, just because I knew what it was doesn't mean I know anything about it. So I'm learning. We're going to learn together.
December
people.
6th, 1969, Altamont Free Concert. So what you had basically at the time, it's 1969. Did you do the
No, I said that.
I'm sorry, I was
yeah.
reading. So December 6th, 1969, you got the Summer of Love coming to a close. You're coming off a Woodstock that happened in August of 1969. Peace, love, and hippies, and people putting flowers down the barrel of guns and stuff like that. And it's a great time, man.
It's the 60s. I mean, it's the 60s, man.
Yeah. So you had Woodstock on the East Coast.
Which was crazy big, crazy successful, made a lot of people into much larger names than they were.
It started out as a paid-for concert for a couple of days, and then it ended up attracting 400,000 people to Bethel, New York, out in the Catskill Mountains, up on this dairy farm.
That was Woodstock.
That's Woodstock. That's out in the west or the East Coast.
Right.
So
not the subject of today's show.
No,
but
state of New York. But everybody out in the West was like, man, that'd have been cool. Wish we could have done something like that. We should do something like that. And so you got the dudes in Jefferson Airplane. They start talking about, like we said, Woodstock West.
Hey, let's do lightning in a bottle again.
I would love to make that paycheck, guys, and get famous. So with them, they got the Rolling Stones and the Grateful Dead. And the Rolling Stones were doing a U.S. tour, and they're like, how do we finish off this tour? People were they're busting their balls because the Stones had like higher ticket prices than kind of everybody else.
Well, now, nothing against the Stones. I'm a big fan. I like them. I like a lot of their stuff. Early, late, today, mid stuff,
Right.
Especially the one Dancing with the Streets where Mick Jagger went like rolling around with David Bowie.
Dancing,
I love that. I love that song.
In the
so,
streets.
But let's get clear. The Stones have always been about making money. I mean, that's fine. I'm not hurting. I'm not crucifying them for that. Unlike where the Grateful Dead were kind of on the other end, like we're making music. The money will follow.
Oddly enough, we'll get there.
I don't know anything about Jefferson Airplane.
You're gonna.
All right.
I'll tell you a whole fun stories about them. So they want to go to Golden Gate State Park in San Francisco in California and throw this big Woodstock West.
Big hippie thing, yeah.
Right. They're like, this is great. It'll be perfect. Everyone will love it. We've had concerts there before. But unfortunately, the Bears and the 49ers had a game there. And so that
couldn't reschedule that?
Couldn't move that. So that's sort
of Bears
bumped that. The Stones wanted to end their 1969 U.S. tour, like I was saying, with a free concert. And so they're looking at San Jose State University on the practice field. They're like, oh, okay, we can go to this, this is a cool place.
Well, a question, though.
Sure.
Didn't they realize if they give a free concert, it's going to look something like Woodstock? I don't think...
Well, no, because Woodstock, that was the first time that happened. Well, so San Jose State just had a 3-day festival with 52 bands. They drew 80,000 people.
It just doesn't seem like a big... You need a field. You need
well,
more than an arena.
Woodstock was 400,000 people, so it's 5 times that amount. I don't think people were planning that to happen again. 80,000, they just did it over 3 days. They're like, all right, we're starting to get
but I'd
this
like
down.
to know who those 50 bands were, because the Stones weren't as big as they are.
No, that's true. They were local
bands.
But
the still is the Grateful Dead, and Airplane was... And the Stones have been around for a long time at this point still, too.
Oh, I haven't even got to the lineup yet.
Okay.
We'll get to the whole lineup. These are just the guys with the idea. Like, this is just like, hey, we should do this.
They're looking around.
Right. So then... they're like, all right, San Jose, the city's like, we just had 3 days ago. I can't do this to the people of the city again. They're getting pissed. So they changed it to Sears Point Raceway, and that's in Sonoma, California.
Okay.
They wanted $300,000 deposit because the Rolling Stones were there, and they're like, if you come here, we want the rights to film this. And they're like, no, we're not doing that. Good idea to film it, though. Now we're going to film this concert. So they switched venues again. Now, it's Thursday, December 4th. Do you remember what day I told you the concert was on?
No.
Saturday, December 6th.
Oh, 2 days before the concert?
Yeah.
Ain't got nothing lined up?
Nothing.
That's how I run my life, all right?
Yeah,
and that's no way to run a concert.
No, I've been trying to work through this about how to stop procrastinating, and it's still...
It's the only thing I can't stop.
I was writing these cards before Ben was here today. So.
I know. I had to sit here and watch him write the last
10
cards.
Yeah. So.
And I played...
And we rescheduled this recording session for like 2 weeks from before now.
I did call him this morning. I'm like, hey, I'm up. I want to go do this now. Get your ass out of bed and let's... I knew I showed up. I had some scratch-off tickets.
It was good.
Lost $10.
All right, 2 days to spare. Local businessman Dick Carter suggests his Altamont Raceway.
Oh.
You might know it as the Altamont Speedway. It opened in July 22nd in 1966 in Tracy, California. NorCal, basically, up in Northern California. They got a 1/4 mile and a half-mile track setups, 12-degree turns.
So I feel like that's a big piece of land.
Yeah, well, the NASCAR Camping World Series West is held out there. So, yeah, it's a chunk of land, basically out in the desert and scrub brush of California.
Probably the best spot they looked at altogether.
Well, it didn't cost them $300,000, and they didn't say no.
But it was big enough. It was big.
And it is big.
Yeah.
It's big. We'll definitely get there. With 2 days to prep, Woodstock West we got some problems, as you can imagine.
Did they call it Woodstock West, or was that just like the
it's just
quote-unquote?
the quote-unquote.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't want to do air quotes because although we can do live streaming now, guys, let us know if you want that.
We
We're
do not have faces for live streaming.
No.
Or good faces at all.
I'm actually pretty good looking. I'm going to say that. You know it's right.
I know.
Your wife is like, Brian is pretty attractive, though. You got to give him that. Like, he's not smart. He's not ambitious. He doesn't have a lot, but he's an attractive man.
For a minute, and I think she was drunk.
I got a fresh haircut, too, so I'm doing good. Oh, okay. 2 days to prep this Altamont.
Looks like he's getting a little thin up there, Brian.
Oh, that's the gel. I'm not used to it. I don't have the gel that the guy at the barbershop has.
Rub
the gel.
some of that gel on my belly, then I could get a little thinner down here.
Thin it out. That's nice. They got a stage problem. First, step one, we need a stage. Need these musicians to play. We got a stage problem. Instead of being up on top of a hill, like at Sears Point, where they were going to be, they're now at the bottom of a slope. And so the stage, literally 39 inches high. Like a meter.
But that's kind of like they're down in a bowl.
Yes.
Or at the end, so everybody's on a hill looking down.
Yeah, that was the plan, right?
That's not bad.
Well, they couldn't change the stage height because, basically, if you think about it, you're down. You want to be up and kind of project out. You don't want to fire your music into the side of a hill, like the sound.
All right. Not things I would not think of.
The stage was so low.
How low was it, Brian?
I don't even. You couldn't even get an ant's testicles to squeeze through there. How's that? It was a blank. I didn't have anything. I'm like, what are you going to come up with?
Well, you knew I was going to say something.
I know. I actually wrote it that way. The stage was so low.
Way to prepare.
Yeah.
Pre-show prep.
Sorry, guys.
101.
Send in your so low jokes.
Han Solo?
I like that movie. All right. In the past, Jefferson Airplane and the Dead used local biker gangs to work security at some of their concerts. They didn't have any problems. They'd be like, hey, guys, go just make sure nobody breaks into the cars or gets raped or anything. And they're like, okay, cool.
See, and I think today we have a real, a different view of biker gangs after everything that's happened, including, I think, what's coming up on the show.
It's a motorcycle club.
But back in the day, the bike gangs weren't as portrayed as vicious. Maybe they were. I don't know. Maybe they've always been the bad guys on motorcycles.
The motorcycle club.
All right.
Road manager for the Stones, Sam Cutler, makes a deal for $500 worth of beer for the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club, Oakland. They make sure that nobody tampers with the generators and nobody gets on stage.
So they bought him $500 worth of beer and
Right.
gave him a free pass to the concert?
Literally sit on the stage. Like, sit on a 3-foot stage and
Okay.
stay off. People
All right.
So Sam said, quote, all the bands were supposed to share that $300 beer cost. And the person who paid it was me. And no one's paid me back to this day.
Well, that seems a little petty.
Yeah, well.
$300. I know it's more back then,
I was going to
but
say,
still,
it ends up being like $3,400 some dollars worth of beer in today's money. You could buy 72 cases of Bud Light. I feel like I just ruined a card that's coming up.
I think you just made a lot of bad math, but go ahead.
You'll see. Hells Angels member Bill Sweet William Fritsch recalled the meeting. He said, quote, we don't police things. We're not a security force.
That's exactly what they want you to do.
Sonny Barger, founding member of the Hells Angels Oakland, said, quote, I ain't no cop. I ain't never going to pretend to be no cop. I didn't go there to police nothing, man. They told me if I could sit on the edge of the stage so nobody could climb over me, I could drink beer till the show was over, and that's what I went there to do.
All right. Well, I mean, you had a job to secure a thing.
Right.
And you got payment in beer.
Yeah, it looks like it's $3,041 in today's money, which could get you about 170 cases of Bud.
Okay.
So.
And how many bikers were there?
Many. Hundreds.
Oh, hundreds.
We'll get there.
That doesn't sound like enough beer all of a sudden.
Yeah. So we got the stage issue. It's low to the ground, and you got bikers sitting on it. There's also a venue issue. There's no commuter road to Altamont. So people just pulled up off the side of the highway, parked the car, and started walking. Or people just drove their car off the highway
through the field,
and just kind of parked as close to the stage as they wanted to. So it could be like stage, biker, 2 feet, and then like Volkswagen Bug and some hippies. and then like 40,000 people, and
So I help with a little
no barriers. There's no funnel to get police or people or cars or anything in there. You just set up wherever you wanted.
I help with a very small little festival every year.
Ben runs a huge party festival.
No,
guys.
and honestly, a lot of what you got to do has nothing to do with the actual thing you're doing. They're singing music. A lot of the planning has nothing to do with music. You got to have places for people to park.
Yep.
Which sounds dumb, but if given no like barrier or signage or lines in the street or on the road,
that's what we're doing. Yeah.
people just pull up and wherever they stop, they stop.
Close as I can get.
You got to have bathrooms. Bathrooms are a huge deal.
Oh, we'll get there.
And you have to have food. I mean, you need food. You need places for people to go get away from things. You need a lot of room. And it sounds like they couldn't do this in 2 days.
Well, that's the thing is they had 2 days to get these things going. So,
All right.
all right, now we'll get into the venue stuff.
But some of the best parties are thrown like that.
There were no shade trees. It's basically the California desert. Not enough porta johns, like you're talking. They had 1/6 of what they needed, so they were basically open drainage ditches where people were just dropping trow, and so you had people just backing up onto whatever trees there were or the back of cars.
Well, people are just going everywhere. They're making in the middle of the field.
Yeah,
that's my new word for pooping. I gotta go make.
Gotta go make. So how many people are you gonna get in 2 days' notice to show up to a concert that's changed venues 3 times?
They're hippies. It's not like they had jobs, Brian.
What do you think you got? We just had 80,000 in San Jose. You had 400,000 in Woodstock. What you think you got?
I'm going around 100.
Yeah, well.
Was it?
300,000 people show up.
Just show up.
To basically a field party with drunk bikers as security.
This is like
but awesome
a
music.
good high school party on steroids.
Oh, dude. It's the ultimate high school field party. I don't know. Again, we're from Michigan. And we definitely had field parties where you just kind of, somebody has some property and you head out to the back corner of it.
His name was Ryan. Ryan had property.
Set up and, somebody lights a fire. The next thing you know, there's a guitar or people are rocking out in some music device of some kind. And more
inevitably,
people show up and more people show up.
Fights.
That's a fun story. There was a party at Ryan's, and I remember my friend Paul, we rode together. He goes, "Oh, dude, this looks like a great party. Everybody's dancing," as we were pulling down the driveway. And they weren't dancing. They were fighting one another, but in multiple groups.
That was the fight that I got my face broke.
Yeah, somebody threw a flaming log through the back of a car, and that was a party.
Yeah, there's some dudes just showed up, older dudes and all of us. And
that's how it goes.
And there was a little tiny skirmish going on between a couple guys that knew each other that went to your school.
Yeah.
And when that started, these other dudes that just showed up to the party, older guys that nobody knew, it was like, go time.
Time to
and
fight.
They just like hit the first people that were around them. I was just standing around with them, like I'm not going to get everybody, I think if you've listened to this podcast, I don't want to fight. I don't want to get, I can hold my own maybe, but I don't want to, I don't know if I'm a man. I've never been tested. I don't want to get into the middle of this fight. And I get decked. Somebody comes up behind me. And it shatters my whole entire orbital bone. I didn't know it. I got drug away. I ended up going home that night. Next morning, my mom takes me to the hospital, and doctor walks in the emergency room, and 1 second goes, "Got a broken face," and we had no idea. We're like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, the swelling's probably starting to go down. I can tell, but you guys have been So we're like, well, what do we do now? Well, let's get surgery. Let's wire it all together.
Yeah. You must be fun at metal detectors.
I don't go to metal detectors.
Ding, 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 ding.
I just want to warn you, I don't have a bomb in my underpants. I have a plate in my head and one in my face. All right. So this is shaping up to be a party.
Oh, dude. Yeah, literally, they had, it was described as a piece of twine going across the stage to keep people back. You know how there's that gap usually between stage and the crowd?
Right.
No.
What
No.
How many days do you think that did you find out how many days they planned on having this event? Was it going to be a multiple day event or just like 1 day?
Today.
We'll see.
Yeah. Well, no, that's what the thing was, right? They had to schedule it for a night of bands, it's going to be a long night or a day, but it's a long night. So okay, let's get into that then. All right. Santana. Carlos Santana. Yeah. He's the first band to go on.
No, he was at Woodstock.
He was at Woodstock.
Yeah.
He had an amazing set at Woodstock, and the trick was, people know now, is somebody literally accidentally spiked his drinks with LSD.
Well, he drank them accidentally.
He wasn't an LSD
I don't think the
guy.
People that put it in there was an accident.
Well, that's true. Yeah, he got spiked, man, and he's like, I was just playing I had 10 fingers, man.
And he shredded. That's what launched him into
Oh yeah,
superstardom.
and that's why he's out here at Altamont, right? So
keep it going.
they're setting up. They notice the guys at Santana are like, "Wait a minute, that amp says lo-fi." They specifically had a lo-fi sound system at this particular speedway.
Oh, loaf?
Yeah, in the area of hi-fi, where you hear lots of high fidelity, you get all that peaks and like the chirps and stuff isn't all. It's like high fidelity.
What's lo-fi? Like those big bullhorn-looking things?
Lo-fi is what a drive-through sounds like. Yes, the bullhorn.
I didn't know there was. I didn't know there was a lo-fi. I thought hi-fi was just a marketing device named like,
low fidelity. So they're setting up to this low fidelity stuff, and then there's a girl out front, like some crazy hippie girl, and Santana notices her. She's talking, and she's like basically talking. It's not gonna be the exact quote. I'm gonna paraphrase, but she's like, "Huh, a weird day to have a concert. Anybody can see that with the moon in Scorpio, today's gonna be terrible. Like, you shouldn't do a concert today. But I don't know. Maybe the Rolling Stones know something I don't."
What, she was just a hippie going from the astronomical charts?
Well, they had astrologers who helped plan out Woodstock out in New York. And so she's like, I wonder, because today, doesn't seem like a good day for it.
Well, my fortune cookie said it was.
We're foreshadowing now. Those are made in San Francisco, buddy.
No, they're made in Chicago. I'll fight about it?
No. Well, yes, I would fight you, because unlike you, I'm pretty sure I could hold
No, I
in
meant
the fight.
with our brains. I'll beat your ass every day.
Mentally?
Yes, mental fighting.
No. This is what we do here. You are no match for me.
I think they're made in Chicago, right next to the Tootsie Roll manufacturing facility. Inconceivable.
You don't go into a battle of wits with I don't remember where he was from. All right. You ready to rock?
Yeah.
You ready to rock?
Yeah.
All right. That's what they said. And then Santana goes on stage. And their first song, this young guy tries to get on stage, and he gets kicked square in the face by a Hell's Angel. He's out cold. Now, people are taking pictures of the concert. You have reporters there. You have just kids there.
You said it was being videotaped.
We'll get there. We're not there yet. That involves the Rolling Stones. We'll get there. So we got people with cameras. Now, please describe a camera in 1969 to someone from today.
It's about the size of a microwave.
It's not your phone. It's, it looks like it's got like a beer can kind of hanging out the front of it. There's a lens, the big.
Yeah, it looks like it looks like a lunchbox with a beer can taped to the front of it.
The SLR or DSLR, we'll call them those things for the people in the know.
But I think everybody's seen what, we see reporters and stuff still with those.
So, and you're at a hippie concert in 1969, so you got some naked people. They're just out there dancing like, woo, there's some naked people, right?
There's good naked and there's bad naked. And a lot of the old hippie naked is bad naked.
I'm going to imagine music video hippie naked. So it's nice and pleasant and people are young and fit and, that's the hippies.
And they're dudes, but you can imagine whatever you want, Brian.
It's a helicopter. I'm doing it now. You guys can't see it.
All right, put that away.
More like a quadcopter. Anyway. So you got some naked people dancing, right? Santana, Hell's Angels. No nudies on my watch, buddy. Beat them down just for being naked.
Really?
Yeah. And then anytime the nudies would like regain consciousness and pop back, oh, what the fuck happened, man? Like, oh, you're still naked. Boom, beat them down again.
Why were they against naked people?
They're Hell's Angels. They, you got to have your leathers and your boots on. You don't want to, get a road rash. So they're for safety.
So everybody has to have like spikes and leather and black and pat. Yeah,
man.
I tell you, I went to the machine shop last weekend.
Why did you? The Machine Shop is a heavy metal bar in Flint, Michigan.
It's pretty popular. I mean, in the state, yeah.
It's a good live music venue.
It grabs some pretty decent sized names, and it's small, and it's a bar. It's like, and everybody in there is wearing black. I go out with some buddies that were in town to go to that machine shop,
specifically.
So we grabbed some some food and some beers earlier in the day in Flint.
Prove they're still manly.
No, they
go
came
to the
in.
Machine Shop.
They came in for a particular band. They had a band that they liked or whatever. Blah blah blah.
Power Band 5000.
I'm like, I ain't going to that. I'll go out and have some drinks with you. And then whatever at the end, I got some drinks in me. I'm like, hey Ben, you want to go to the machine shop? Yup, let's go.
Let's go to the machine shop.
I stroll in there. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing my brand new pink shirt. Like an Easter shirt.
Was it tucked into your pants?
No. It was a button-up shirt. I tuck in the T-shirt. See,
gotcha.
Like tucked in.
Yeah.
But no, this was so I roll into this. Everybody in there is looking at me like, who the hell is this dude? Hi, my name's Ed Harley with Harley Davidson.
Harley Davidson.
And so I'm feeling a little bit out of place. This dude comes up to me. He's like, Ben Rupel, what's going on? It was my sister's ex-boyfriend. Like,
Oh, jeez.
he's a regular there. He may work there. So he's my new best friend for the night. And apparently there are a lot of rules for mosh pits.
Oh.
I didn't know this. I was standing next to it. My buddy was like bebopping around in there. You know, he's like a little popcorn kernel. He's a little dude.
Yeah.
And he kind of comes to the edge of the mosh pit. So I just push him up back in that. And this big security guy comes up to me and he's just like waving his finger, no, no, no. And he's going to like grab me. I'm like, sorry, I didn't know the rules. It's kind of like faded back into the crowd.
Things.
But he knew the guy with the pink shirt was.
Right.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm all right. I'm out. We left. I was like, I was there for about an hour. Drank 2 beers. No, I went to the machine shop.
I see.
I don't think I go back there. They do not allow entry to this dude.
2 square.
Yeah. So, all right.
2
So,
square for the fair.
naked hippies are getting kicked in the dick.
Basically.
Continue.
Or in the tits. I mean, equal opportunity. They're Hell's Angels.
They're kicking girls in the boobies?
No, I don't know. I wanted to put it out there. I didn't want people to think they were like sexist or anything, you know.
Well, they were sexist. They were Hell's Angels from the 60s, man.
So that's true. But you got these things going on, right? And you got these reporters there. So people are taking pictures. And this guy, John, snapping some photos. Hell's Angel sees him. And he says, I want your film. You're going to get hit. And then he literally doesn't wait for John to respond. And he smashes his camera right in his face. And that requires John to get 13 stitches. And just again, remember how big cameras were in the 60s.
Yeah, they're heavy and big and metal. And
So, John goes down. He hits the ground. More angels start wailing on him. And they're just like beating on him. And he's like, God, I felt like I was getting hit with like rocks and broken glass bottles. And then when they get him up there, like the Hells Angels back off him, and he gets up. He's like, "What the hell was that?" People around him are like, "Oh, they're hitting you with pool cues and motorcycle chains." Oh, okay.
where was the Snookers event going on here?
Well, yeah. The pool cues basically is they would do loaded pool cues too. So apparently they had like drilled out and then metal inside of them, but then they sawed them off to a little bit longer than a baton, like a police baton.
I never understood the
Woo!
pool cue. I'd take if I get to bring some sort of a club with me.
Yeah.
I'll bring a baseball bat.
I would bring nowadays a mini aluminum t-ball bat. I think that would be a good, small enough to get a couple swings, because you don't want a weapon that's too long, because then that swing reset really opens you up. So you get like a mini bat day. That's a terrible day at the ballpark.
Maybe like a drop 8 27-inch baseball bat, BB core.
Oh, wow.
Maybe you
Coach Ben.
triple SA.
There you go, Coach Ben, everybody. So anyway, John had a quote. I'd never seen a Hell's Angel before. I didn't really know they could do that.
Beat your ass, John? Yeah.
That's what they do, buddy.
That's what.
We're a motorcycle club.
Hell's Angels. Focus more on the hell part of the name, not the angel part of the name.
So as Santana's finishing up, Hell's Angel runs across the stage to beat somebody up. He's like, out of the way, Santana, I got to kick this hippie's ass.
It's just a hippie stomping party.
That's which they were invited to be there, to paid for by beer to be there.
But now, Jerry Garcia said this. We do it all the time. Works great.
We've used them tons before. Never had any problems. Jefferson Airplane never had any problems.
I wonder what the Hell's Angels view on this. If you're, two sides to every story sort of thing.
We'll get there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Fair and balanced, my friend. Fair and balanced.
Yeah, it's the Fox Report.
Now
Here you go, Brian.
I'm going to lie to you. Next up on stage, Jefferson Airplane, which, as everyone knows, leads into Jefferson Starship, which then just takes off into Starship, and that's a whole other musical journey, and we'll probably never get there because you'll hear why.
Well, it started out as Jefferson Bicycle, right?
Yeah,
took the whole entire trajectory from the Wright brothers up to the airplane
to the top to the Starship,
to the air rocket ship,
from bicycles to rockets, thanks to two guys in
Orville Redenbacher.
North Carolina, South Carolina.
Well, I think they're from Ohio, but they flew in Kitty Hawk, South Carolina.
All right. Jefferson Airplane also flies in to Altamont to play, and they hit the stage, and it's about 75 yards of standing room only, right? And before Jefferson Airplane starts playing, they announce, "We need clean sheets and diapers. Lady up here had a baby."
That's in like the front.
Yeah. And so very quickly they are overrun with clean sheets and diapers because they're hippies. There's babies and pregnant women
probably
and
kids,
moms and kids and everybody around there, right? So The airplane starts. They start their set. There were reports of bad wine and acid going around that day. Plus, somebody put some mescaline in the booze. So
We don't have mescaline anymore, do we?
no, I don't think so.
I don't think they make it. I think wasn't there a drug that was like manufactured and then they quit making it? We just don't have it anymore.
I want to say you're right on that. I didn't think about it before, but
I wonder if there's a dude that's got like a little stockpile.
oh, you know, there's
like some old, he's got like some old 50-year-old bourbon.
He's like, I got some ludes and some mescaline
and some wine from like the days of France 1800s and some pile of mescaline.
Got some ether.
Ether, they still have that.
Old school opium. We're just going old days.
All right.
Well, okay. So just keep that in mind. The Hells Angels started to fight with the crowd while Jefferson Airplane's playing. And so the lead singer, Marty Balin, stops singing. And he goes into the crowd to help him fight with the Hells Angels.
Whose side was he on?
He's on the crowd side.
He's on the hippie side, not the Hells Angel side.
Yeah, he's playing for these people, and the Hells Angels are beating him up. He's like, stop beating up my crowd, guy. And so, ba-boom! Marty gets KO'd by a Hells Angel. He's like out cold on stage. Didn't make it off stage. Got punched in the face, laying out cold. Now, rhythm guitarist Paul Kantner grabs the mic, and he starts smack talking the Hells Angels while they're playing a song, mind you. They haven't stopped playing.
Is this on YouTube anywhere?
We'll get there. Hell's Angel gets a mic, another mic. He starts threatening Kantner. So they're going back and forth at it on stage like they're going to freaking throw down while Jefferson Airplane still playing.
That's dedication.
Right. People get him a little calmed down. They get him talked down during the song. Then that song ends. They start playing another song without Marty because he's knocked out on the floor there. And so, but the sound system was so bad you couldn't tell. Like people in the back, they're like, "What happened? What's happened?" There's 300,000 people there, so
that's crazy.
They're just here.
What song was that, Brian?
I don't even know, man. I wanted to get into Jefferson Airplane and all that stuff, but then I get down a YouTube road where I'm just jamming out to old like Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack, and I'm like, I'm not getting any work done. Brandy, you're a fine girl.
Fine girl.
What a good wife you would be.
Such a fine girl.
You're my life, my love, and my lady is a seed.
Do 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 do. All right.
Brandy used. Anyway, they finished their set, right? And Grace Slick, guitarist, is just sitting there just talking softly about what's going on. Like Howard Cosell, like, okay, we have some Hells Angels coming up on the side now. They're punching hippies in the face. And,
that's not how Howard Cosell does.
Well, that's not what Grace Slick sounds like.
That sounds like a golf announcer.
Marty is coming
back. Coming up on the back green. He's going to use a four iron putter, and
I do like golf announcers. I think that's pretty good how they can restrain themselves. Like, oh, that's an amazing putt from 40,000 yards. That's great. That's a
my
great
golf
club. That's nice. So, all right, they're just talking about technical crap. Talking about what's going down on stage. Santana's drummer, Mike Shrevey, he gets backstage, right? They're done. He starts telling people what's going on out front. They're like, what the fuck are you talking about? The Hells Angels are fighting people. They knocked out Marty. They're like,
Marty's still out there bleeding on the stage. Somebody go sweep Marty up, please.
You're going to have to move around Marty, guys.
I can just see him like coming out with one of those little stretcher things, two dudes carrying it.
They pick up the microphone, put that on the stretcher, and carry that off. Marty's like, argh. So, no, the Grateful Dead hear what Mike is saying, the drummer, and they're like, seriously, dude? And they're like, yeah, that's what's going on. They cut and run. They're out.
Oh, they're like,
leave.
Nope,
pack up.
So it's them dudes that were like, hire the Hells Angels.
Yeah.
Here's a contact number. You want to call this guy.
You want to talk to Road Dog.
Yeah.
And, no, not Mad Dog, Road Dog. Mad Dog will charge too much.
These guys come in like the Ultimate Warrior, Who are those two wrestlers that had the spikes on their football?
The Road Warriors.
The Road Warriors. That's what I'm thinking
an
of.
Animal. So, backstage, now, so you got to understand, backstage, they had tents and they had these trailers.
For the
bands.
The people that were...
Yeah. Okay, you got it?
Oh, I'm just trying to think in my head. They all had 2 days to, like, pack for the show. Much less get ready for the show.
Most of these guys were out on tour anyway. They were just like, where are we going next? Like,
so they just show up on the bus.
Yeah,
right.
They show now, there's no AC in these places or anything, but bands are hanging out with groupies and celebrities and photographers and writers.
Writers, hang out a lot of writers. Hey, man, where's the group of writers? I don't need the groupies. I don't need that harem of hot chicks over there that may or may not be of age. I'm looking for the writers.
I got a scoop. See, I got to cover this. People got to know back east.
Is that your
That's my writer.
mid-Atlantic accent?
That is my mid-Atlantic accent. So they don't have the same thing going on back there as they do out front. There's a different vibe happening.
Yeah, they just got some bad wine and LSD to contend with.
Right.
Yeah.
So then the Rolling Stones arrive by helicopter.
All right, now this is a story I heard. I only heard a blip, a little bit of this one.
As the band is exiting the landing area, like,
they're rolling in on a helicopter.
On a helicopter, right.
In the vicinity of this racetrack.
Oh, it's a desert, dude.
Yeah, okay. But, I mean, everybody can maybe hear the helicopter coming in.
Well, you can probably see the helicopter come in and out. Anyway, so yeah, the people know that, the Stones are here, right? So a fan...
That's a boss move.
It's still a boss move.
It's a boss move.
If you show up by helicopter, that's dope.
Like 5 minutes before you're supposed to go on stage, just like fucking get off a helicopter. Yeah.
Landing, not at an airport, just landing wherever you need to land because you're that boss.
Yeah, just land in the area with the least amount of hippies.
Right.
Yeah.
So they do.
Cool.
They get out. They're exiting the helicopter. They're getting beyond the blades.
It was like a Magnum PI helicopter.
CT's behind the wheel.
Hey, they got a new Magnum PI out now. It's pretty good.
We'll get there.
No, we will not talk about the new Magnum PI. I guarantee it. We are not.
It comes up.
All right.
I'm kidding. It doesn't.
It better not come up. I'm trying to figure out how you're going to.
All
right. So the Stones come in on the big helicopter. No, it wasn't Magnum PI. It was.
No, Magnum PI is released.
They had a helicopter. No, who was the guy that had the helicopter?
CT. It was yellow and orange and brown.
Was that the one with the big smiley face in the front?
No, that's the Screaming Mimi. That was in the two brothers.
Yeah.
Simon and Simon.
Oh, let's go with that.
All right. No.
Yeah. No.
No. We were just talking about this. It's the other one. It's not Simon and Simon.
Hardcastle and McCormick?
No, that's him and his wife.
Heart to Heart?
Might be Heart to Heart.
No, Heart to Heart
is him and his wife also. No, I don't remember, but they had that giant helicopter, and they would always end up in it, and it was pink.
All right, no, go on.
They get out of the Rolling Stones get out of a helicopter, right? That's the point. We're talking about helicopters. So the Rolling Stones get out of a helicopter, and a fan, quote unquote, runs up, punches Mick square in the face. Boom! Welcome to Altamont, bitch.
For no reason.
No reason. I love you, Mick. Bam!
I wonder if he was mad about something.
Show up by helicopter. I had to walk from the highway all the way out here. Next thing you know, I'm sitting my ass up against a tree trying to take a shit, and there ain't no trees.
Fuck you and fuck your Paint It Black song.
So, Stones arrived. The Flying Burrito Brothers go up on stage.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. The Flying Burrito Brothers. It's a countrified kind of Grateful Dead. They're kind of trucker music, kind of folksy.
Oh, trucker music.
Well,
to all of our truckers out there.
Oh, I hope there's truckers listening.
We got friends that are truckers.
You have friends that are truckers.
You do too. You do.
Who are these people?
I can't say their names. You'll just bleep it.
Say their first names? No,
Joel,
I think I know one of them. Yeah, we've talked about them. Joel and Rob. That's right.
And Neil. I think Neil is also.
These locals, or are they long haul?
I don't know particulars. I'm just saying, they put stuff on Facebook about trucking all the time.
Fine.
I think Rob's long. I think Joel's local, and I don't know what Neil does.
Neil and Bob.
Neil Bob.
Never mind. Okay, so you got the Flying Burrito Brothers. They're a countrified, Grateful Dead, sort of the hippie band of the era. They got a couple of songs, but they're kind of slow and windy, and you're just like, oh man, I could see why the crowd would mellow out. There's no fights during their set. Nobody fights anybody. Everybody's just like, these guys kind of suck.
Everybody love everybody.
Like, right? And of course, that's when Mick Jagger and Keith Richards check out the stage. They're like, we've heard these stories. Ben is rooster strutting. They rooster strut to the stage, and they're like, we've heard stories of people getting out of sights, and they look around, they're like, it looks good, everybody's chill. Like,
them bloody cunts.
Right, I don't know why the Dead left. These guys are weirdos.
That bad wine and LSD.
So coming to the stage next, we got Crosby, Stills, Nash, and
Young made it?
And Young!
All right.
So we're going to take a break right now, but Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young are there, and
this is a pretty good lineup.
It's been a really good concert so far, aside from getting kicked in the face and having your camera smashed into your nose and getting 13 stitches.
A couple of hippies get their ass kicked.
A couple of nudies getting beat down multiple times.
Just another day that ends in Y.
The CTE and concussion syndrome that has happened. But we'll get there, guys.
Is this a new song?
Of course.
Kind of calypso. say it so sexy.
I like that one.
Nah, we're back.
And we're back. I don't want to. And we're back, everybody. Like, jarring people if maybe they're driving.
Well,
or something.
hello, it's a morning talk show.
I like talking like an announcer, though. I did that. Like, I went to school for business and marketing and advertising, so we had to do projects like that. 2-in-1. You get the amazing double play pen, and I just used to like doing that.
Oh, my brother was. It's his birthday. Shout out, Nick. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Nick.
It's his birthday this week sometime. So he gets a package delivered yesterday from QVC, from his in-laws, from his mother-in-law, and he's just like shaking his head. He's like, "What dumb shit did she get me?" He opened up the box. It's like a pair of sunglasses. He's like,
"Blue blockers.
You just spent $35 on a pair of glasses. I'll never ever. Why do these people?" And he's bitching about getting gifts on his birthday. And I said, "You know what? You sound like Tom."
That's your dad.
He shut up pretty quick.
You sound like your dad.
I don't want none. Don't get me anything. And then a day later after his birthday, nobody got me anything.
Nobody got me anything. I love that logic, though. I do. No, I don't need anything. I feel bad. Nobody got me anything.
No, I didn't get anything for my birthday.
I told him.
I'd say cash.
I need stuff all the time.
Give me money.
I can't not think
money.
Of if you'd like to give us some money, go to patreon.com/crimeandmusic.
Money.
And we can get some better mics, get some better headphones. Maybe take these blankets down off the wall. I don't know.
No, the blankets that makes it cozy.
You like it?
Yeah.
It is warm.
All
right. So now we're back to the concert. Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, you're up.
They came out and played.
They hesitantly took the stage. Literally, David Crosby begged the rest of the guys, like, dude, come on, guys, please, we can do this. Let's just go play.
They're all a bit pacifists.
And we will get to David Crosby. That's going to happen.
Okay.
We'll get there. So, yeah. And by the end of the set, several stretchers were sent into the crowd and bodies were passed overhead and across the stage of unconscious people who the Hells Angels had beat up and knocked out.
So they're still just beating ass.
Pretty much. Stephen Stills was repeatedly stabbed in the leg with a sharp bicycle spoke by a Hells Angel. Like every time he kind of wandered up close to this part of the stage, the Hells Angel jabbed him in the leg.
This is crazy.
Yeah. People were carried out or hobbled out under their own power. More people filled those spots because the Stones were up next. And there's 300,000 people at the top of a hill standing, just pushing down, pushing down.
And you know, if there's that many people and there's that much mayhem, they maybe don't understand that people are just getting their ass beat.
No.
It's like a cow going to slaughter. Everybody's just going in that front door of the barn.
Hey, where are you guys going? I'm all right. I'm with you guys.
Bam, bolt gun. Bam, bolt gun. Bam, Hell's Angel.
Yeah, just kick you in the dick. Cover your dick, people.
Keep that dick
I'm just saying, just cover it around a Hell's Angel at least.
I'm going to keep my dick covered for the rest of the day. I don't need
bits and pieces.
Dick kicks.
You just swan you. As we called it that in our private high school. It's called swanning, where you just walk up and just tap somebody in the nuts. Swan. And you'd get 21 days suspension if you got caught swanning, so we named our high school band 21 Days. Yes, Ben was drinking, he would have said with a Z, and I would have been like, yep, with a Z.
Hey, I was at Churchill's the other day.
Because we're bad boys. Yes.
Yeah, didn't you guys play there?
We owned that place for at least 5 years. We would pack it from front to back. Literally, the bar owner and clubs loved us because we came with our own crowd. We sucked, but we came with our own crowd.
You did. If you could bring like 30, 40 people with you, and they'll drink. They'll play anywhere.
We had 200 people who would go just about anywhere we went. It was great.
Yeah, that was with, was it McKellar? No. Cassidy?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, that's who I like to follow around in high school. They were good.
Yeah, shut up.
Continue.
People are carried out. They left. More people filled in. Stones are up next. We're talking about that, right? But, yeah, okay, just to set the scene backstage a little bit, there is a Red Cross tent with, like, one volunteer.
with a fistful of Band-Aids.
He's like, take it easy. I have been drinking.
And an ice pack.
Been drinking the mescaline iced tea, so nothing too serious, all right, guys? And then there were a couple of sheriffs. There's literally, like, 4 sheriffs. And they're like, okay, we're not gonna.
We can't do anything.
No, then the Hells Angels flexed up on him earlier with, like, the sheriff went over to a Hells Angel and was like, you're revving that bike too loud. You got to turn it down. And like 6 or 7 other Hells Angels wandered up and said, what'd you say? And he said, you guys have a nice day.
Yeah, I bet.
So.
It's just out of control. There's no. They'd have to call the National Guard in if it got out of hand.
Okay. We'll get there. The sun is setting. It's, it's December. It's California, but it's still December, right? And you got tens of thousands of potato chip bags and half-eaten sandwiches, and people are starting garbage can fires or just open fire because it's getting cold.
Matt got kicked out of a Ted Nugent concert for starting a fire in the hillside, which was similar to what this venue sounds like. This was a professional place. I mean,
the hell's Pine Knob?
Yeah, and yes, Pine Knob.
It's an amphitheater. You can't set fires on the lawn.
Well, there's a lawn, and Matt, there were some people like lighting some old like beer cups on fire and throwing them in a pile during like Great White Buffalo.
Oh God.
And Matt just he's like, I just threw a cup in the pile. And then somebody took me outside. And so I just remember Matt like hanging on the outside of the fence going, guys,
is that Ted? I can't hear.
All right, so there's fires getting started.
Boontang.
That's recycling, in my opinion.
Well, that's great, but you have tens of thousands of these things burning, and so that created a hazy cloud of smoke that made most people like vomit and throw up because it's burning garbage. I mean, you're burning
That's a good
garbage.
band name. Burning garbage.
The MC for the night, this guy Cutler, like we talked about, one of the managers, comes to the stage and he says, quote, "The Rolling Stones won't come out until everyone gets off stage." Because there were like literally hippies and Hells Angels and stuff hanging out on stage, just sitting there.
Oh, they weren't fighting though?
No, they were just sitting there. I mean, not all of them were fighting, but sometimes they were sitting. Then dozens of Hells Angels start plowing through the crowd on their motorcycles down the hill. This lady jumps up. She's like, "Fuck you," to one of the Hells Angels. And Hells Angel stops, turns his bike off. He's got a lady on the back of his. He's got a Hells Angelette.
Mm-hmm. Auxiliary group.
Right. He goes, "You gonna let her talk to a Hells Angel member that way?" And so the Hells Angel auxiliary member gets off. Boom! Bitch slaps this girl. She goes down unconscious out in the middle of the crowd.
Catfight.
Gets back. Nope. Girl's out. And then the Hells Angelette gets back on the bike and they drive their motorcycles down to stage. And they're like clearing people out of their way. You know, they're just like, everybody's moving out of the way.
This is a melee. This is just a melee.
Well, the Stones were going on, and so they wanted to make sure there was kind of a buffer between.
They wanted a front row seat for the Stones.
Yeah, that's the thing. Nobody asked the Hells Angels to park their bikes down by the stage.
That was on there. That was a good idea.
So
we're gonna make a bicycle fence.
That's a good. You know, the sun's down. It's getting cold. The Stones are still waiting to go on because they wanted it dark. They wanted to like make an entrance. The one thing they did get set up was a big archway. That Ben's doing the rooster walk again. Look at that.
That's my Mick Jagger walk.
Look at it. Moves like Jagger because he's got moves like Jagger. All right, so they're trying to get this big starlit, sunset, glowy like look, right? While everyone's in this hellscape apocalypse with burning garbage, death fights, and
motorcycle fights. Yeah,
it's
like a Mad Max. It's like a scene out of Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
They're like, "You think it's good yet?" I'm like, no, let them wait it out just a little bit more.
2 men go in, 1 man comes out.
That's what they're doing. So they, the glow of the garbage fire sets the mood.
It's romantic.
The Rolling Stones come out. Woo! They open up with Jumpin' Jack Flash with absolutely no room to jump. Mick Jagger has asked the Hells Angels to back up a few steps because there were about 200 extra people on stage with the Stones and the Hells Angels.
The stage is going to collapse.
So he's got literally, he said he had about a 3 or 4 foot radius to get his moves like Jagger going.
And Mick Jagger needs more room than that.
Oh, dude, right?
He had to go to he went and got some surgeries done the other day.
Well, did he, Mick Jagger?
Yeah.
Is he okay?
I think they had to cancel some. They're still touring.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
Keith Richards is still alive at the taping of this broadcast. I don't know. He may live forever. He's a vampire.
They may have made a deal with the devil. It's possible. So he's trying to jump and dance around. Now you got to remember, dude, it's Mick Jagger. So he's doing your rooster cock walk-in thing, and he's got those frilly clothes on, and he's doing the pouty lips. These are Hells Angels. They're not really too jamming out to some effeminate English band.
In tight
pants.
The Stones were not. This was they were big, but they weren't the Stones as we know them today.
Not yet, right. So the Stones get to their third song, Sympathy for the Devil.
Yeah, you want to talk about, Brian?
We talked briefly. Ben and I just talked about this. I was annoyed because I was in a band once, and I said we should play Sympathy for the Devil. That's a great song, and our band would sound good doing it. And some people in the band were like, "I don't have any sympathy for the devil." Just like, dude, it's just a song, man.
They wouldn't play it.
They wouldn't play it. So
under protest.
Whatever.
How?
Bastards.
Brian's so butthurt about this still today. That was like 20 some years ago, man.
Boo.
Oh,
Boo.
yeah. Brian still, and Brian will hold a grudge like Khomeini. This
I
guy will
I'll
not.
hold the grudge.
He's got grudges. We should have just one show.
Just a grudge.
Brian's top 10 list of grudges. We'll talk about every one of them.
This is a show I can get excited behind.
Brian's top
this
10
is great.
grudges.
I am
We'll
down for
have
that.
10 grudge things, and Brian has to talk about each one.
In great detail. With
Yes.
a lot of beeps. Are you
And
playing with a pen? What are you doing now?
What do you mean? I'm writing notes. I got notes.
Oh, Lord. All right. Sympathy for the Devil. Good song. Fights break out at the foot of the stage. Mick asks the crowd, quote, "Just be cool down there. Don't push around." And then they restart the song again. They're like, all right, let's try it again. Take two.
We'll edit that.
You imagine this? This is the Rolling Stones. All right. They get through that. They start playing Under My Thumb. Appropriate.
Yeah. No,
A couple of Hells Angels grab the skinny kid on the side of the stage. His name is Meredith Hunter, a.k.a. Murdoch, we're going to call him.
Murdoch?
Murdoch.
Howling Mad?
But it kind of, just skinny, tall, skinny black
Was
kid.
he with the band or just a dude?
Just a fan.
Just a dude.
a guy out in the crowd, right? They punch him in the face. They start laughing about it. They grab him and try fucking him up, right? But Murdoch shakes loose. And then one of the Hells Angels punches him again. Murdoch falls off stage into the crowd. Hells Angels jump down into the crowd after him because apparently once is not enough for these guys. And they chase after Murdoch. Murdoch tries like running into the crowd, like there's
little skinny dude just kind of going through like
But
a
there's
street.
300,000 people in a crowd pushed, water falling down a hill into the stage. Like one of the Hells Angels gets close enough and he stabs Murdoch in the back with a knife.
Oh, jeez, he got knives?
Oh, yeah. Murdoch turns around and pulls out a fancy 22 long barrel revolver, holds it in the air. Some chick screams, "Don't shoot anyone!" Hell's Angel Alan Pissarro, he parries Murdoch's gun with his knife, stabs Murdoch again twice. Murdoch falls down to his knees.
That's a doll while Under My Thumb is playing.
Under My Thumb is still playing,
All right.
right? They're
Yeah.
trying to signal, we'll get there. A Hell's Angel grabs his shoulders, Murdoch's, kicks him 5 times in the face.
Wow.
5 times.
And so he's stabbed in the back a couple
champion.
times in the neck.
Murdoch falls onto his face. Another Hell's Angel kicks him onto his side until he rolls over, face down. Witnesses say Murdoch muttered, "I wasn't going to shoot you." Those are his last words.
Oh, he got killed?
5 Hell's Angels started kicking on him. Fat Hell's Angel stood on his head for a minute. Hell's Angels wouldn't let anybody touch him or help like the guy for a couple minutes. Everybody tried to, they're like, "Get the hell out of here, get away from here," like
That's rude.
lions over a fresh kill.
That's rude.
Witnesses say, quote, "There's a big hole in his spine and in his side and a big hole in the side of his temple, like a big open slice. You could see all the way in."
All the way in.
They tried to tell Jagger on stage, "Stop playing, man, get some help." But Hell's Angels wouldn't let people get through to stage. They're like, "Fuck you guys, whatever." So the Stones finally stopped playing, and Mick says, "We really got someone hurt here. Is there a doctor?" And 300,000 people, there's probably going to be a doctor.
Not in that crowd.
Well, there was a medical student there, or a guy who was a medical resident or something like that. And so they carry Murdoch back to the Red Cross tent with the medical student guy. And
He dead.
medical coordinator, that's who it is, medical coordinator Dr. Richard Baldwin says, quote, "He got a bad injury. Even if he was stabbed in an operating room, there's nothing that could have been done to save him."
Wow. Yeah.
With that type of injury. So Murdoch was transported from the scene by van to Jefferson Airplane took the helicopter and they left. And then the other helicopter was strictly reserved for the Rolling Stones, so they wouldn't take him there.
Yeah, fuck.
So they drove him by van. And then
Well, he's dead.
he was brought to the coroner's office by deputies and an autopsy was performed. He never went to the hospital.
Well, I think you can I don't know how I don't know the rules for being dead, but when you're dead, you're dead.
Right.
And if you got a 45-minute van ride,
God.
and they can pronounce him dead at some point. I think doctors can do that, can't they?
I think so.
Yeah, maybe you don't have to go to the
But
hospital.
the coroner. Yeah, apparently he had the Hell's Angel had like a typical big old like Bowie knife type of thing. So this kid had this slice right near his spine. and then like a 4-inch gash in his temple, and then like another one. Like the first initial shot wasn't that bad.
And they beat him up, and then they stood on his head.
Dude.
I mean, the standing on your head part by a big fat guy could maybe at least suffocate you. You're in the mud or whatever.
Yeah, man. So
yeah,
those guys are dicks, and yeah. Anyway,
well, I'm not. I think the Hell's Angels got on a bit.
Pulled a 22.
He had a gun.
He did have a gun.
But once you subdue that dude
but
with the gun.
But he pulled the gun out because I got stabbed in the back while I was running away from the guy who's punching me in the face.
It's a bad scene.
Bad scene. So Jagger's still on stage. Quote, "Why are we fighting? Everyone just cool down."
I think I've seen that clip. Why are we fighting?
We'll get there. Keith Richards. "Either those cats cool it or we don't play." And a Hell's Angel grabs a mic. "Fuck you." The Hell's Angels were in control of the stage. I mean, that was...
Well, it sounds like there was nobody out, and nobody would stand up to them.
No. There's a couple of guys who started talking after Marty Balin went down early, like, you know, guys, if we all just band together, there's more of us than them, we can take them. Everyone's like, I'm good.
It's a bunch of kind of young hippies where these Hell's Angels are probably like war-hardened veterans.
Right. The Stones start playing again. They're like, oh, God, okay.
Well,
so
they wanted to make sure they got their concert off.
Right. A body flies across the stage. Jagger says, "We're splitting, man. We're splitting if cats don't stop." And so the onstage crowd surrounds Jagger. Like, oh, you ain't stopping. You're going to keep playing.
Dance monkey.
Exactly. Again, these guys are on the stage with the band. This isn't like the band is 14 feet up and there's the barrier with all the dudes in the black T-shirts like pulling kids who are crowd surfing out. No, man. You crowd surf on stage. You're now next to the drummer and the bass player. Like, you're there. You made it.
Needless to say, I feel like this concert was probably a learning experience for the entire industry on how not to do shit.
We'll get there.
Okay.
Several Hell's Angels park their bikes right in front of stage, and they start gunning their engines. Crowd's like, music, music. And the other people are like, get off the fucking stage. And then Mick Jagger's like, please just relax, sit down. You know,
motorcycle guys that just like grind their gear.
I'm trying to play my songs, man.
You're in your driveway, buddy. You're just sitting in your driveway. You're not even stopped at a red light.
Like, so
everybody's very impressed with your big, huge, phallic motorcycle.
You're clearly manly. Clearly, I see you. That's the way I feel anytime I see a giant truck that's pristinely clean and like there's no dirt anywhere on it. I'm like, come on, man. That's like a luxury truck. You don't need that.
A luxury truck.
What are you doing? Crew cab with the kids in it? Come on.
I think it was my old truck driving down the road. The green one.
The green one, yeah.
I think I even followed the guy for a half minute. It looked old and rusty, but it was was definitely the exact same make and model and year and color as my truck.
When we lived in college, again, I know we tell these stories.
And I almost went to the guy's house. I almost followed him the whole way.
Ben had this huge green truck, like the crew cab, so there's 4 doors, and the extended bed, it seemed like.
It was huge.
It was a monster. He would go off on these trips, like Australia or California, whatever, and he's like, I'll drive it, go ahead. So I'd take it to go get whatever, and it's like, Jesus, this thing's a monster.
Oh, my wife hated that truck.
So, dude.
I traded in for a minivan.
Talk about a land barge. That's huge. You're a dad. You got a cool rock and roll minivan.
It's not even cool anymore.
So, Rolling Stones, after people are flying across stage and fighting and boxing in Mick and stuff, they play 8 more songs.
They wanted this.
They were afraid if they stopped playing, it would be a riot as opposed to like 200 people, 300,000 people would riot and stuff.
But now the Stones were kind of the driving force behind this whole concert. Yeah. From the beginning.
This is the first time ever, though, they performed Brown Sugar in public.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Worth it. No, not worth it. Not the loss of life. I take that back. That was hyperbole.
Hyperbole?
No offense. They end with Street Fighting Man.
They shouldn't end with that. Stop one.
That was the show. Thanks for coming, Altamont, everybody.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Well, you could, actually, because you weren't getting out. There's 300,000 people, random cars parked everywhere. Piss and shit in like ravines and stuff. Just the Hell's Angels, Alan Pissarro, the guy who stabbed Murdoch, he's tried and acquitted on the grounds of self-defense, and so because Murdoch got a gun. Murdoch's mother would later sue the band not the band, but the Rolling Stones. The band wasn't even there. She would sue the Rolling Stones, the organizers, and the Hells Angels. And she had something like a couple, like $200,000-$300,000 sort of on this lawsuit, and she never heard from the Rolling Stones. They're like, no, we don't.
That's a great way to get out of a lawsuit. Just ignore it.
Never heard of it. And then she settled for $10,000.
From who?
The organizers probably.
Oh, well, that plus that $300 they had to spend on beer.
The guy who paid for the beer.
This thing only costs like $10,300.
There were 3 other deaths. We had 2 concert goers who died in their sleeping bags because they were being run over as people left the concert.
Ew. Ew.
That sounds so bad, dude. You're just like, what was that? Like, I don't
Keep
know.
going, man.
Keep going.
What's that dragging under my? Is that a sleeping bag dragging under my?
I laugh as a defense mechanism because it's so horrible, dude. Like you just went to it. Like if you're in the back, like if you were like number 250,000 or something, and you just heard the jam, and you're just back there jamming, then you're just like, all right, that was a good concert. You go lay down your sleeping bag.
Maybe you met a chick,
right? And just
and you're
oh god,
just trying to sleep one off.
So yeah,
and then your head gets run over.
Well, it's not even the worst one. The worst one is this one guy passed out and he drowned in one of those shit piss irrigation ditches.
Oh, I'm gonna puke. It's in my mouth.
Here's a good spot to lie down. And he rolls down the hill.
He was turd burgling.
Oh God, is that literally what it's
I
called?
don't know. I'll use that. I don't know what that word means, but I use it a lot.
That's hashtag turd burgle in this episode. Or
don't be a turd burglar.
Oh, not if that's what happens.
Oh my gosh.
Always have proper amount of porta johns,
drowned
guys.
in
a ravine of piss, shit, and vomit.
Shit and vomit.
Yep.
He at least knew what was going on as I was going on. The guy that got run over probably didn't know.
No, he could have had some bad acid or some mescaline iced tea or whatever they had, mescaline wine or something. I mean, he could have been out of his nut, dude, and just
ick.
Bad place to land, y'all. That's why the recovery position is what you're supposed to do. If you guys, you guys know this. Young kids know this stuff, like the teens and whatnot. You put people on their side so they can't suffocate or choke on their own tongue and stuff.
Oh yeah, what's that called? Where you choke on your vomit?
Aspiration or something like
that.
Oh. Local musician Denise Juquez. She's from the band Ace of Cups. Doesn't matter. They're from San Francisco. She suffered a skull fracture when she got hit with an empty beer bottle during a fight between the crowd and the Hells Angels. She was 6 months pregnant at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember hearing a little bit about this concert when we talked about it a while ago. It was just a melee. It was just stupid craziness.
2008, FBI, not the female body inspectors, but the Federal Bureau of Investigation, they assert the Hells Angels were conspiring to murder Mick Jagger due to the Stones' lack of support of the Hells Angels after Altamont.
Oh, so they were like gonna murder Mick Jagger after this concert?
Yep, because they thought they got a negative portrayal and the Stones didn't help them. Because, as you were alluding to, all of this is on film. Everything. There's a documentary called Gimme Shelter, and it's a 1970s British documentary, and it chronicles the last weeks of the Rolling Stones' 1969 U.S. tour.
So much for the Summer of Love.
Yep. So they have it all on video. You can see where Murdoch gets stabbed the first time. You can see where he goes for his gun and holds it up. You can see where he gets the knife to the back. You can see Mick Jagger going, "What's going on?"
When was that documentary made?
It's from the 70s. It came out in the 70s. You can look at it's on YouTube.
I might want to check that out.
Fun fact: credited cameraman, his camera jammed after a few minutes, so they didn't use any of his footage, so he just kind of sat around and watched. Young George Lucas.
No shit.
Yep. That was one of his things. He was working the cameras, and he had this, he got 90 meters of film or whatever, 90 feet of reel, and it broke, and he's like, oh, I'm just going to sit here and watch.
No shit.
So, yep. Imagine that. Now, see, that could have went way worse, and he could have got killed by a Hell's Angel. We wouldn't have Star Wars.
Oh. And you would never have your coveted Han Solo movie.
I do like Han Solo.
Oh, it's so stupid.
Why do you hate? Why do you hate so much?
He's wearing a Jar Jar Binks t-shirt right now. It says, "Make Naboo great again" on it.
Jar Jar is my true princess. All right, we got a quote from Mick Jagger about Altamont. Quote, "I thought the scene in San Francisco was supposed to be groovy. It was terrible. If Jesus had been there, he'd have been crucified." Okay, thanks,
Way
Mick.
to throw like everybody under the bus, Mick.
It wasn't me. It was Jesus.
That's a crazy story though. I mean, they were trying to do what could still to this day can never be done again. The Woodstock.
You can't replicate Woodstock, man.
That was
You
pretty
can't.
much peace, love, and happiness.
Yep.
There were some bad things that happened, but
Oh,
nothing.
God, I forgot. This was literally the day the music died. There's a line in that song. I know a lot of people, it's about the Big Bopper and a plane crash, and we'll get there. But there's a line about the Hells Angels beating people down and stuff. And so Don Henley or whatever was talking about writing. There's a couple of songs that actually talk about Altamont Concert, and they have a couple of lines to how that really killed the Summer of Love and the day the music died.
And
And
ushered in the 70s.
into the 70s, baby. You know, that hard rock with the big hair and the screaming guitars.
Yeah, well,
So
I think everybody should probably go to the YouTubes and check this out.
check
a
it
little
out.
bit.
Gimme
Yeah.
Shelter. It's called Gimme Shelter. Gimmie. Gimme Shelter. It's a documentary about the whole thing. Not just about Altamont, but their whole tour. But most of it's about Altamont, and you can see everything going on stage, and you get an idea. You just see hippies sitting around. There's a good piece in the New Yorker that has great photos of what this scene was like a desert, empty, and then boom, just like hundreds of thousands of people and like
Again,
chaos, just chaos, no structure, just a stage and a light
They-
bar.
they definitely had to learn some lessons from this one because there's been a lot of festivals and concerts since.
Oh yeah,
And they're actually starting today to become crazy organized
yeah.
through the internet, through social
Oh
media.
yeah, technical advancement.
I mean, you go look at that Burning Man thing,
Oh yeah,
and that's been going on for quite a few years.
sure.
They now have it to where when that city starts to become built, they have infrastructure for roads and walkways. If you look at it from an airplane, from space, it is a very organized sort of camping situation.
Oh,
And then
wow.
boom, gone, desert again. And it's pretty peaceful. I mean, drugs and alcohol and craziness, but it's not like people are getting beat up by the Hells Angels.
they don't have local motorcycle clubs.
No, but they got
as,
bathrooms,
security.
they have water, they have food, they
Huh.
have all the proper stuff when it comes to people getting hurt or getting sick. They have infirmaries and all that stuff.
That's cool.
I mean, it's rather organized.
Yeah.
Rather organized. This was a festival made up in 2 days.
2 days.
Hey, what do we need? I don't know.
Oh, we're not doing it there anymore, guys. We're over here. Like, oh, okay.
Pull the Rolling Stones in on a helicopter. We'll have them play.
Yeah, they don't care. They're like,
Should
where are
be
we going?
good.
Where's the stage at tonight, y'all?
So all Mick Jagger wanted to do is spend zero money, get it filmed, and play a few songs on stage, and then helicopter his ass out of there.
Yep. They asked, what's his name? Keith Richards?
Yeah.
Ask him later on how it went, and I don't remember the quote, but he was like, it was good. I mean, some people got a little out of pocket, but it was good.
Some people got killed.
You know.
Well, all right.
And there's another quote about 4 births and 4 deaths, but that's not true. I can only confirm 1 birth. So.
Yeah, that's a crazy.
Look
You're not going to
into
see
it.
that today. Not in this country.
I just can't imagine 300,000 people listening to me and my band play. That would blow my mind.
I've never been anywhere where there was 300,000 people together for the same thing. I mean, what's the biggest event you've ever been to?
Oh gosh. Well, okay. Now, see, in Ann Arbor, we go to Michigan games. I got some ins there, so I've sat like 3rd yard line.
So you got 120,000.
120,000 people. That's
Right.
as much as I've 3 times that much, and not in a giant bowl. I mean, the big house is designed for that. You know, this was a field,
Yeah.
like an unorganized scrub brush field.
They weren't ready for that. 300,000
Ooh.
people, and it doesn't sound like they had a start time and an end time to it.
Just let's go. Send out the Burrito Brothers again. That seemed to calm them down. Hui, ha, ha.
All right. Well, I'm glad we did this one. That's fun.
I was like,
That's
you
a little
like that?
different.
It's a little
Yeah,
different.
I
You
like.
like the events as opposed to.
I don't. I like the idea of not sticking to just a
Just a
person.
person?
Yeah, because this
Right on.
brought a lot of very interesting people into the. We got to talk about Stones, Jefferson Starship Airplane Enterprise,
Yes. Crosby, Stills, Nash,
and Young, and the Burrito Brothers.
And the Flying Burrito Brothers.
Yeah, that was
A lot of good
cool.
music too, guys. If you hear any of these names and they sound interesting, go check them out. They do all have good YouTube presence and like their greatest hits and stuff are out there. And it's good Summer of Love. You can sort of get an idea what the genre was like back then.
Yeah, there's some other good the Rolling Stones music, but right before that I liked a lot. So I'm wondering. I want to see what their set list was.
Ben's a hippie.
I'm not I grew up with that stuff.
Ben's a hippie.
Yeah, I'm a hippie.
My mom just listened to oldies music, like 50s stuff, Happy Days type era. I know a lot about
doo-wop
that.
and
Yeah. She was always putting the
Monday,
oldie station on.
Sunday, happy days.
Ba-dum, boom.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, would you like to know what we got? We got some feedback.
Oh, gosh, I hate that noise. It makes my hair stand up.
We got some feedback, though. We got a
I
speak
do like the
pipe.
speak pipe.
We got a speak pipe from a guy named Jason. And here's his speak pipe.
Hello from Chicago.
What the hell?
Wow. That's some talent right there, buddy. Blowing out his mic.
Your dogs are howling in the background.
Woo. All right, now there's speak pipe.
All right, Jason, that's our best one yet.
Jason from Chicago. Woo.
Thank you, Jason from
you.
Chi-Town.
From Chicago. Apparently, he plays a clarinet.
I don't think we'll be seeing him at Buddy Guys anytime soon. That's not the exact right kind of music.
I don't think that's quite the thing
Maybe,
for him, but
maybe we'll see him at Kingston Mines.
maybe. I'm glad you know these places.
Oh, I like going to Chicago.
I know about John Barleycorns. It's time for us to pack up and get out of here. If you'd like to leave a cool musical thingy like Jason did, just hit us up on Gmail. It's crimeandmusic@gmail.com. If you have anything else you want to say, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube.
Jason's my new best friend.
Jason is my true princess.
Enough of that.
All right, guys. We'll be back again not next Wednesday. We did this last time. The Wednesday after next Wednesday. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Like the song says, never trust a big butt and a smile.
I don't believe that.